I think there's every possibility that either of those positions get looked at. It was funny because I saw a comment on Cheesehead TV today on the website, on the post where I had put up the latest from Brian and Joseph looking at the top 10 edge players in this draft. And whoever it was a well thought out post. It wasn't trolling. It was just their opinion that, they said something, and I'm obviously paraphrasing, like, oh, edge is way down the line as far as needs for the Packers. And I understand that thinking, but, first of all, you are switching to a new defensive front, new responsibilities, possibly new designs on what you're asking those guys to do. You are dealing with Enigbari coming back from an ACL injury that he suffered way late in the season in a playoff game. So he's not going to be ready for the start of the season. Um, and then who knows? You've got Preston Smith, who I know adjusted his contract once again, but is certainly up there and at the back end of his career. And yes, you've got Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness, who you just took last season. But man, you want to rotate those guys, and that rotation can thin out real quick. So yeah, I'm not saying that that's a major need, but it's certainly not something you can dismiss, especially at a position that is a premium spot. You know, corner, tackles, getting after the quarterback. Those are the premium gigs, right? If you can get pressure on the quarterback consistently, affect the pocket on a consistent basis, you are, way just more valuable than most other guys on the field on defense. So I'm not saying that yes, that means 100% they're going to take an edge. No, I'm not saying that at all. But um, would it surprise me if they went that way at 25? Not at all. Or at defensive tackle, which I also think, I know, traditionally the Packers have looked at those positions I just mentioned. Obviously, in quarterback is there as well, as far as a premium position, although I don't suspect they'll be taking a quarterback in the first round this year. Um, but yeah, those are traditionally the premium positions that the Packers like to kind of utilize, look at, etc. That doesn't mean they won't look at other positions, but I do wonder if defensive tackle, kind of league wide, is starting to creep into the vernacular of a premium spot, just because of the way you do want to rotate those guys. We've seen teams be very successful taking that approach, right? But you also want to control the line of scrimmage. You want the blue chip players to be, to allow you to be able to do that. And defensive tackles, especially guys that can play all three downs, they're pretty damn valuable. So, yeah, and I know it's funny because I've seen a lot of conversation over the years about wide receiver creeping into the premium position kind of conversation, but I think defensive tackle probably does more so than wide receiver at this point, at least for my money. But yeah, I don't doubt for a moment that if there's a guy there that they love and they think the value is there, they pull the trigger at 25 on a defensive tackle. Absolutely. Now, who is that guy? I mean, the only one that I really can think of off the top of my head as far as a guy who would drop surprisingly, right? Because I don't think he's going to be available is Byron Murphy. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but things happen every single year that you don't expect. And if that were to occur, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the Packers pulled the trigger.